Prologue. The Hinterlands. At the edge of the living world, the hinterlands began. In this land between land, no leaves sprouted from the tree's branches. No birdsong coasted on the wind. Light always entered at a slant, as though it was perpetual dawn or dusk, when shadows were at their longest. Few travelers had ever set foot in the hinterlands, and those who did returned with curious tales about curious things, like a November breeze that greeted them at the entrance to the forest, tickling the hair on their arms like the breath of a ghost. The trees there were not quite pine and not quite oak, but rather something in between. When one wanderer pressed a calloused palm to the bark, he swore he felt an odd warmth, the spirit of the hinterlands. Most travelers turned back, suspicious of the forest, but the few who pressed on climbed a rise and stumbled upon a ring of 7 trees tall enough to scrape the clouds with the finger-like tips of their branches. When the wind urged them closer, the wanderers discovered carved images in the bark. Each trunk bore a symbol from the holiday worlds of old. An unlit firework decorated with white stars, a scarlet red heart, a 4-leaf clover, and an egg painted with yellow and pinks and blues, a stout turkey, an evergreen tree decorated with tinsel and tiny gingerbread men, a pumpkin carved into a grinning ghoulish face. While exploring the circle of trees, some travelers felt a fresh breeze ruffle their hair. Others saw the sizzle of spent fireworks. A few heard the tinkling of sleigh bells or the laughter of children. More than one wanderer smelled the mouth-watering aroma of pumpkin pie. Only the wind and whoever had etched the shapes into the trees many, many years earlier knew the truth about the carvings. They were much more than symbols. They were doors. When a few brave souls twisted the hidden doorknobs with trembling hands, they found dark tunnels on the other side. One ended in a snowy wonderland. The next opened to clover fields. Another led to a sky bursting with fireworks, and another to a garden where fat little shrubs flew around, wielding heart-shaped arrows. A voice that was somehow both familiar and new reverberated among the trees. 'Twas a long time ago, longer than it seems, in a place that perhaps you've seen in your dreams. For the story that you are about to be told took place in the holiday worlds of old. Now, you've probably wondered where holidays come from. If you haven't, I'd say it's time you begun. Only the bravest wanderers dared to approach the most gnarled tree in the clearing. The wind carried the echo of 100 screams as those bold few reached for the doorknob nose of the devilishly grinning jack-o'-lantern and opened the doorway to a land of dreams, or, as they soon discovered, nightmares. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Alana here. Welcome back to 3 Degrees of Love Divination. As you can see, I've changed over my reading mat. I've also put away a few decks. If you haven't seen my latest 2 videos, I was reviewing my time working with Joseph of Grounded by the Moon's Tarot and Oracle collection. The part 1 would have been with the Practical Magic Inner Witch Tarot and Oracle deck set. And then of course in part 2, I went through the Witch's Grimoire deck collection trio, actually, also by Joseph. So you know, if you haven't checked that out, definitely go check that out. It's definitely up on my channel right now. And so today I felt inspired, if you will. Well, this isn't the first time I've been working with this deck set, and as you can see, and I think last year you would have seen this in previous videos, but this is the spread cloth from the Nightmare Before Christmas a tarot deck by Inside Editions. Now, of course, this is the special edition one that I happen to have. It's the one that comes in the coffin box, as you can see. And so I think I may have showed this, but I'll just show it quickly. Well, it's got stuff in it right now, so all the stuff that the extra and my nerdiness I put in. So it does come with an extra bag. It comes with a tarot bag. It comes with the tarot cloth. No, this is that's mine. Hang on. It of course comes with the deck, the tarot deck, and also comes with of course the guidebook, and then the and a tarot journal. That's also included in this particular set. But anyways, so what I wanted to, I guess, do today, because I think too, what sort of inspired this, I think, when I really was catching on, and it was, as we're moving into, Yule and Christmas, the end of the year, as I say, it's a karmic year, and, 8, and then we're moving into a hermit year next year, 2025, adding up to 9. So the major arcana, the equivalent is the hermit card, which is actually also my birth card. And I live like a real life hermit. Yes, and have so for quite some time. As a Hoyoka empath and social worker, burned out in my field, yada, 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 Anyways, story of my life. Anyhow, so but I'm rewriting it, so to speak, if you will, with all my healing work, therapy, tarot combined. Got it. Okay, so this is what's happening. Anyways, so this is, like I said, this is the nightmare before Christmas, and why I realize, there's a running theme and sort of bittersweet inspiration, if you will, as this is a karmic year, and we are in the darker months of the year, right? Here on this side of the world, and with the holidays, and I'm in Canada, and currently our postal service is on strike, and we're approaching almost a month now of them being on strike at the most busiest time of the year for businesses, for families, for everyone. We're in a global mental health crisis. I keep saying that, and then on top it all off, with the economy, and then postal service going on strike, and how that affects, and the butterfly rippling effect that has on the country. Not even just it like I said, it ripples, right? Because businesses that need to ship have to now look at alternatives, the cost of anyways. It literally is the nightmare before Christmas, wouldn't you say? And so, so with that also, themed in here, and you'll probably see, you'll see the probably the thumbnail, a picture with everything, because it's themed Nightmare Before Christmas, right? Anyway, so we've got the spread cloth, we have the tarot deck, okay? And as you would have heard me at the beginning of this video, and probably gonna play at the before my opening theme title, me reading the prologue from this Nightmare Before Christmas book. And I just thought the prologue, reading the prologue, was very fitting, because it's that idea of I feel it really talks about having the strength and the courage to face the darkness, to face the nightmare, walk through the darkness to come out on the other side. It's the choices we make, right? As I say, it's a karmic year, and as we're closing out a karmic year in the darker months of the year, It's always darker before dawn. And the need to face our shadows, not just on a personal level, but how the personal affects the family, the community, and essentially the whole world as a whole. And beyond that being our planet, nature, beyond the human experience, right? As I've said in a previous video, and I've spoken about, you know, the idea that we are part of the grand whole. We are a part of nature, and we seem to forget that. And we focus on all the, you know, the pollution and, you know, all of those things, and how that affects the environment, and, you know, plastic bags and all of that stuff. And I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that those things are not important to look at. They absolutely are. Our economy, our things like that. But the part that we're missing is how we're treating each other, right? That the mentality, how we step forth, the low vibrational energy that when we are unhealed individuals and we go about our daily lives, the effects that has on the whole, the effect that has on our planet, because we are part of the planet. And every time we go and we come, in every incarnation, we go back to the earth and come back anew. It's a cycle of spirituality. It's a cycle of science. It's DNA. It's everything. So why wouldn't we take into consideration how we are treating each other and how that affects our planet? Mother Nature is mad. Global warming is happening. All of the natural disasters that are going on are happening because of us. It's time to wake up. So, yeah, so, you know, let's go through everything that, you know, that I want to go through today, talking about The Nightmare Before Christmas, all of the texts that I'm currently working with. And, you know, that was the interpretation for me about, you know, the prologue in the story, and, you know, the willingness to dive deep and do that introspection work, right? It's not everybody has the willingness to do it. And a lot of the time, our fear holds us back. But it's also a very vital thing to do for the betterment of self and others, for our continual growth, for the betterment of our world. And you're only going to do that by diving into the shadows. And that's where, you know, as yes, I am still working with Between the Worlds Oracle, by Monica Jezorski, and I'm even now, as I'm pulling out the Nightmare Before Christmas, I think I'm still going to be working with this deck. I was looking to put this away, but for some reason I still nope, still working with it. And that, you know, how I, you know, the messages that I get as I put together, you know, the story with tarot, you know, and yeah. So anyways, so yeah, still working with Between the Worlds, and, you know, and then of course now introducing the Nightmare Before Christmas, which is not really an introduction because I worked with this deck already last year, and, you know, but now again, you know, what's different is the addition of this book, which I did pick up on Amazon, and I felt like, well, I'm a book girl, and anyways, yes, I'm a complete nerd. Okay, speaking of books, so I wouldn't be the nerdy me if I didn't do this, but this was actually a little bit of a surprising, slightly disappointing, but then not really, kind of thing. So this is also by Inside Editions. This little book, this little guy, and yes, it's a book. It's a book in a slipcover. But the thing is, I thought it was bigger than this. Should have checked the dimensions, but, you know, really goes to the fact that not everything is as it seems. Much like we as human beings, right? Anyways, I'll digress on that for now. But yeah, so I was at least thinking that this was gonna be at least maybe double this size, if that meant like I was thinking at least the book would have been like this big, here to here. Like, you know? No. But no. Okay. Anyways. As cute as it is. Yes, this is another little mini book. But it's more of like... It is readable too. That's what's funny as well. So, anyways. And here's where I thought was a ribbon marker, but no, it's not so much of a ribbon marker as it is more of a rib for you to hang it like an ornament. Okay. Well, anyways, haha, joke on me. So okay. My inner children are just still delighted. I, on the other hand, the last little part is like, really? Anyhow, so yeah, and it is Jack Skellington, you know, the main character of the story. And yes, long ago, in a place you may have seen in your dreams, there lived a special skeleton named Jack Skellington. I'm not gonna read all of it, but yeah, like, I'm sorry. It's cute and it tickles the piggies. Okay. Anyhow, so we're just, yeah, and yeah, just yeah. Okay. So that's the books, right? Okay. But again, I'm a nerd. Go with it. I had to get the bicycle playing cards. Yes. Yes. Like, Like, it totally Nightmare Before Christmas, yeah? Okay. Now, I'm also still working with, yes, the Grateful Dead playing cards and double tarot deck set. Okay. A theme sensing, maybe. I don't know. The Grateful Dead and the Nightmare Before Christmas. And soon, which I do have plans bringing it out, just not right now. Maybe next week or so. Yes. Both copies or set playing card decks of How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Sensing a theme, maybe. So we're gonna go with the Grateful Dead, the Nightmare Before Christmas, and How the Grinch Stole Christmas. To work out my frustrations with the world and society. That's what we're gonna work with. Yes. Yes. Okay. So anyhow, oh, and okay, so yeah, so you're seeing that. Yeah. And yes, here's the Grateful Dead still, and the rainbow skull. Yes, still got that going. I showed you Between the Worlds. Well, I showed you the book anyways that I'm still working with. And you already seen the Grateful Dead about 3 videos ago, and recent, so I'm not gonna show that. But there is one more new deck that I did pull out, and that is the and just right on theme, okay? Right on theme. It's the Oracle of Pluto. And yes, Pluto just entered Aquarius. We are in Mercury retrograde. And we're officially in the age of Aquarius. Can the divine and I be any more obvious? That, may Matthew Perry rest in peace. As I say that, anyhow. So, those of you that know, Okay. Okay, so let's look at, let's look at the playing cards. The bicycle, the Tim Burton's playing cards. Yeah, because I'm not gonna go through I'm not gonna go through the whatchamacallit, the Nightmare Before Christmas, the tarot. That's it. I'm not gonna go through the tarot, but because I'm pretty sure you would have seen that last year, and I might, if I do find some, I might just put it in editing, but we'll see. But anyways, so let me just move this. Okay. And I'll move this one for now. So I haven't used the playing card set yet, so it's still in order, but I just wanted to show you the playing card with it. Yeah. Okay. So Let me just bring it in a little bit closer for you. There we go. Okay. So we have, and this Jack in the Box looking cat reminds me of Joanna Nelson's cat oracles. Yeah. Anyways. Wait. There we go. So literally playing cards. But what I really like about this, as you can see, is there are little shadow characters on the, because it's a playing card deck, right? So it's the typical pips in his, you know, varied sort of from a standard, because this is the Nightmare Before Christmas of any playing card deck theme, right? So anyways, but I think it's really cute and cheeky. Right, you'll see that there are various shadow and characters to find, I guess, in the playing cards, if you will. Now I've gone way up. Sorry. There we go. Slidey cards. Okay, you know what? I'm just gonna do. There we go. Okay. Santa. Okay. So that's the playing cards. And then, all right, so let's look at the Oracle of Pluto. And so why I really like this deck, especially to work with in my practice, you know, especially as I'm saying, combining therapy and tarot, is because, so the idea behind this deck is that it's the idea that not everything is as it seems, right? And so the bigger image in the card, you're seeing what you're picking up first is the shadow, right? And so, like, for example, this card, hippo, and you're seeing what looks like the shape of a hippo or the face of a hippo. However, when you look further, you'll notice that it's not actually a hippo, but hands that are forming itself into this shape. So when doing that introspection, right, and really getting and diving deep into self and understanding our emotions, understanding how we react to things and how we interact with other people, right? It's not everything is as it seems. So even when you are seeing someone else, right? When we allow our traumas to influence our decision making and our thought processes and things like that, right? When we are meeting somebody and maybe the interaction that we're having with them, if their emotional responseness, if you will, is out of alignment, then and so are ours, which anybody going through a human experience for and has ever suffered trauma is going to have some sort of misalignment going on, right? So it's understanding that not everything can be or should be taken at face value, right? Sometimes it's important to see beyond, to take that time. That's why being able to separate ourselves from our emotions, to really get to understand them, we would have a better understanding of self, better control over self, because our emotions have no business being in the driver's seat of our lives. They have no business dictating the choices we make, but they do. They do impact us in that way. And it's only when doing the healing work and doing the introspection and doing the therapy, if you will, are you getting to understand these aspects of self better. And as you get to understand these aspects of self better, you're better in tune and in alignment to understand, or have a better understanding of others and how and why they operate the way that they do, making it a much better platform for interaction amongst us all. Wouldn't you say? So, right? So that's the concept, again, like I said, of this deck, right? Not everything is as it seems and as it appears. It's when you look further into the card, you can see what is actually there. And so that's the theme of this, oracle deck. And if you understanding, and the historical understanding of Pluto and all of that, right? Anyway, it's the dense planet, right? Anyway, okay. Anyhow, wolf, spider, rabbit, what is that? Tapir, swan, unicorn, Kangaroo. Snake. World. Eagle. Puppet Master. Giraffe. Hen. Alligator. Swallow. Oh wait, and that was goose. Swallow. Moose. Elephant. House cat. Rooster. Camel. Turtle. Mallard. Griffin. Whitetail. Hermit crab. Salamander. Squirrel. Frog. Snail. Shadow person. Cub. Porcupine. Bear. And it's also that lion. It's also it's also the understanding too that what may seem scary may not actually be the case, right? You know, so that idea, you know, that how trauma can really impact the level and understanding and relation we have to the concept of love and what that means, right? Oftentimes, you know, because of trauma, it can really distort what that, you know, distort that how we express that with each other, how we determine what, you know, what we deserve ourselves, you know, and so on and so forth, right? And like I said, the lower and the more unhealed we are, the further from the truth we are about ourselves and one another. So we may look at someone, we may interact with someone, and something they say, something they do, and we don't always have to agree with everything, right? We all have our different values and things like that, and we're our own individual person based on our experiences and our journey, right? In our lifetimes. But also understanding that even though we are individuals, we are part of a larger whole, right? So therefore, everything we do has an impact. And so, you know, so this concept of love, like I'm saying, we have a very distorted view on what that looks like and how, you know, we express that with each other. And so, you know, when we've been hurt before, right, we like I said, we go through these various sort of trauma responses. Either you flee, you fight, you freeze, or you fawn, right? And then, you know, all the characteristics that in each category sort of entails, right? So That's why this work means so much to me. That's why I'm working so hard to do this for myself. Well, because I was forced into it, rather. By the universe, by life. So, friend, and last card, pigeon. So anyway, so you know what? Let's I'm gonna pull from this deck. Let's shuffle. Oop this up, see what comes out for the collective today. And I will read from the guidebook. Yeah, and I love how this deck shuffles too. I'm really liking a lot the what RP Studio is producing of late. The card stock, you know, one of and everything, and just even like the packaging. Yeah, one of my other favorite oracles that I recently worked with is the Forest Magic Oracle, also by RP Studios. So yeah, so doing some pretty good stuff. And sorry, I didn't even tell you what the author or who created this deck. This is, so it's 55 oracle cards. It's written by Aubrey Howdeshell and illustrated by Rose Ides. And yeah, so it's a 55 card deck to explore the undiscovered self. And yeah, so that is that deck. Hang on a second. Okay. Let me shuffle this one more time. Okay. One card, please. Okay. Actually, we got two cards. Okay, so we have Porcupine. We have the Fox. Okay. Let's see. And underneath, we have the World card. So, let's see here. What do we got? Porcupine. Okay. So this and there's similar oracle decks that are set up like this. I think one that comes to mind is the nope, can't remember now. I just totally blanked. That piggy ran away. Okay. All right, piggy. It'll probably come back. It will come back. They always do. Okay, so this is Porcupine. Porcupine 36. Okay. And let's see. Okay. 36. Okay. Porcupine. Meaning, ancestral wisdom. The porcupine, with its body covered in innumerable sharp quills, is a curious creature. Many indigenous peoples revere this traveling spike ball as a personification of ancestral wisdom, with each quill representing a different person and a different lesson or piece of knowledge to be shared. The Arapaho, I am probably butchering that, I'm sorry. For example, revere the porcupine for being able to travel between the physical and the spiritual realm. If you are deeply rooted in the culture of your family and ancestors, this card is a signal to dive deeper into your relationship with them. Consider engaging in activities relevant to your cultures, such as cooking their food, speaking their language, or erecting an altar to your loved ones on the other side. Ask them to share their wisdom with you. If you are someone who isn't in touch with your roots for whatever reason, that's okay. Sometimes delving into the subject of family can be a painful one, especially if the generations of those who came before us are people whose qualities or values don't align with who we are. If you are one of those people, take a moment to contemplate the bigger picture of the ancestors we all spring from. The first humans who walked this earthly plane, from which we all share a common root. Their wisdom is lying dormant inside of you, too, waiting for an invitation to speak up. Make room. Further reflection. The energy of this card is like the famous saying in the occult community: as above, so below, as without, so within. As the universe, so the soul. The idea behind this is macrocosm versus microcosm. There are many who subscribe to the idea that we are a piece of the universe manifested as human, a divine piece of consciousness that is recognizing itself. Imagine the incredible vastness contained within each of us, then full of the profound unfathomability of knowledge and wisdom that exists outside of time. How can you engage with this larger idea of ancestral wisdom? Hint: the answers are within you. Pretty much what I've been saying, don't you think? Okay. And Fox. Okay, so let's read Fox. So basically what I was saying about the way this guidebook is set up, because I couldn't remember the name of the deck I was trying to compare it to, is the contents of this. So there's no rhyme or reason order in the guidebook, because they're not in alphabetical order here. So finding it, if you don't go to the contents, finding it would be like piggy scattered, okay? Trying to find the info. I think it's the Metaphysical Cannabis Oracle. That's what I was trying to get at. I couldn't remember. And I know, anyway, I won't even get into that, but there was a whole big thing in the tarot community. Anyways. So, anyhow, but it's set up very much the same way. Everything has, like, it has its order, but it doesn't seem like there's an order when you go past the table of contents, if that makes sense, right? Because it's not numeric and it's not alphabetical, but just anyways. So it may seem disastrous, but all you gotta do is just go to the table of contents. That's what it's there for. Look for the item, and then look at your page number, corresponding page number. So here, for example, we have Fox. So the second card, Fox. Fox, oh look, that's number 66, page 66. And there we go. Fox, meaning trickster energy, sly, slippery, elusive, clever. That saying, sly like a fox, exists for a reason. Just when you think you've got the fox pinned down, this slippery friend pulls another trick from its sleeve and escapes once again. In many cultures, the fox is associated with the trickster archetype as well. Often a character in stories that fools the protagonist over and over. If the clever fox has wiggled into a reading of yours, this trickster energy is asking for your attention. A situation has arrived that requires you to think on your feet or be very cunning in your approach. Whatever is going on, you must be clever. When we are in the theater of the trickster, everyone is wearing a mask, including you. Clarity may feel elusive, just out of reach no matter what you do, and certainly there is drama. Be very smart about your next move and consider the image your mask is presenting. Further reflection. In Norse mythology, Loki is the trickster god. In Roman mythology, this title belongs to Mercury. While the connotations that the word trickster carries are often negative, these trickster gods are always having a good time with their schemes. Drama and glamour go hand in hand with this energy, and they are two things that are highly prized in modern society. Indeed, people lead lifelong successful careers in the art of just that. How can you channel these ideals to serve you now? You can make yourself up to whatever you need to be. Well, so there you have it. And the worlds. So diving deeper, getting to know ourselves, unmasking ourselves, looking ourselves in the mirror. What's in the dark always comes to light. This is a karmic year. Everything we do on an individual level, on a micro level, affects the macro. As a Hikoya empath, we are known as a sacred clown because we do things opposite from the norm. I'm neurodivergent. I've always presented myself in this world. I've always walked through this world, and everything I do, the choices that I've made, has always been in the name of love, for love. And even though it broke me, I know now that despite everything, what I was doing was not in vain. You know, yes, my trauma response was people pleasing. And I've learned from that. But I also know that without love, we are nothing. Literally and figuratively speaking. Because the whole is love. And we're part of the whole. So without love, there is no us. There is no human beings. There is no planet. Our planet. There is no Earth. So I know I couldn't close myself off. I couldn't close my heart space and become one of those zombies. And I know, yes, very few and far between the types of people like me who are dedicated to doing this work, but it is important. And we cannot do it alone. We need allies. We need the support of our communities. We need the support of each other. Like I said, we are only as strong as our weakest link. We are only as strong as our lowest vibration. The more we adhere to the lower energies, because we are unhealed, the more darkness, the more destruction, the more unbalanced and chaotic we become. And at some point, what is beyond us will step in to correct what the chaos that we have created. The warning signs are all around us in our environment. If we're willing to take the time and pay attention. Get to understand who we are at a much deeper level by going within, by doing the shadow work, by doing the mirror work. I've dedicated myself to it, and I'm dedicated to helping others do it and hold space. I am a safe person. I strive to be a safe person for anyone and everyone. However, I've learned now that I am also a person that I have to show up for. So with that comes boundaries that I have to put in place for myself and for the respective others as well. But as I always say, I am love, and so are you. As I see myself as human, I know you are too. And so as I leave you with all of this today, I hope you will take what you will from it, reflect on it. Feel free to share in the comments down below. If you like my content, please, I encourage you to like, share, and subscribe. Share it with others so that we can build a better and stronger community for ourselves and for each other. So on that note, I hope that you'll take care of yourself and one another. And while you're at it, don't forget about me too. As always, 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 I love you. And until next time, don't forget to live, listen, and learn. Bye.